This is Dill Thompson with the band Bride, and you're listening to the Rooster Show!
Take a side if your mind, take the body right path fast. If you want rap, it's a dead end crash, like Stone Cold rhymes. Cause once it goes in, you want it again. So you call up your friends and start stepping ill time. Never think about Christ. Louis paid the price, buckle up for your safety cause you're heading for a ride. The system, and you dismissed them. Showing up the church, but who cares when you're live? You're riding on the fence, you got me convinced. You're claiming that Jesus is the Lord of your life. You follow the sinner. Raise up, believer. You follow the sinner. Raise up. In sin is better, makes me laugh so hard. It brings tears to my eyes. But yo, I'm never speaking from my mouth, God's speaking to you. Cause you're the reason that Jesus Christ died. I hope you just got the knowledge I dropped. If it slips off the tape, put your finger on rewind. Then listen up again, don't be practicing sin while you're standing in the limelight about to take a dive. You follow the deceiver. Raise up, believer. You follow the deceiver. Raise up, believer. You follow the deceiver. Raise up, believer. You follow the deceiver. Raise up, believer.
Hello, my beautiful world. Whoa, that was loud. Yes, it was. Hello, and welcome to the Rooster Show. This is Rooster Jones. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. And today we have a special guest, Todd Stevens. And this young man is XL. And he's from XL, Death Before Dishonor. And he's an amazing guitarist. He's in a new project called Furious Love, which does covers of Christian metal bands. So here we go. Hello.
Is that working?
Yeah, it's working.
What's up, Rooster? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Todd? Good to see you.
Oh, here you go. You're right here. There you go. Turn you up some, man. Is that loud enough?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you beautiful and awesome.
My bro that I stayed, the guy who took me to his house, that's on the band. I don't know if you've been talking about Furious Love.
Yeah, Furious Love. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably going to be speaking and sitting too, because it helps me some stuff that when I'm speaking about stuff for my for my stroke, which is it's doing better now, but you know.
That's good.
So
well, bless you, buddy. Bless you. This ain't no stressful thing, man. We'll be nice and calm and relaxed, and that's Dale, right?
This is Dale right there. Yeah, I don't know where he went. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. How you doing, Dale?
Good.
Pleasure to meet you.
Same.
Okay, you're way off. You can come back here. You can come in the camera if you want. Okay. Anyways, well,
he'll come somewhere. He'll come in somewhere there.
You're a part of like some other stuff that I had no idea you were a part of. You were helped out with Dynamic Twins and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I played with before I had a record deal. I was kind of a wingman. I played for SFC. I played Apocalypse. I played with I played along with Crucified. I played along with when I got the deal, of course, with Jimmy Brown from Deliverance. I played with Gospel Gangsta. I did Idol King.
Idol King.
Ton of Rats. And so for me, I had some talents. Sorry. So I played guitar, I played bass. So I was playing drums. So on the hip hop cruise, I was playing the drums, I was playing the bass, I was playing. So they'd have people on tour with me. I'd be playing bass with them, or but the most was from Dynamic Twins. Those guys, they took under my wing, and they gave me my nickname XL was from them, from Dynamic Twins. Dynamic Twins.
Yeah, that's
1991
awesome.
was I got my nickname. Yeah,
I seen Idol Kings, I believe. I swear I have.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, because I mean, that's old school stuff right there. Anyways, that's awesome, man. Well, that's
So a lot of
amazing.
these, we were first with BIA, BAI. They were called Brainstorm, and of course they were the what do you say that word? Subsidy, Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
So Word Records, and then from there, when OJ, have you heard of OJ Taylor from the
No.
band Uncover,
Okay, okay.
Uncover,
Yeah. Undercover.
Undercover.
Undercover, yes.
So he was the CEO of the record company. And so when he shut it down, then we didn't have the same record deal. Others, they branched off to other things. But what happened was I Records was able to continue seeing them from Frontline.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys played Frontline, like Deliverance and man, all kinds of different
Oh yeah,
uh,
I know Frontline Records. Yeah.
right, intense records too. They played the metal, and then they had those that were
Yeah.
playing pop or the Conterior.
Contemporary.
Anyway, Frontline came and took that I know 4 or 5 of our albums from BAI to Frontline. They picked up these records, which was cool
Yeah.
because then I started seeing royalties again. And this lady, her name was Adele. How am I saying her name, man? It's my Meister. I can't say it right now. I used to say the name,
I'm so
but
bad
she
with
she
names.
took in and took these albums out, man. And so I to this day, I'm still, man, I put out for Sodom in America. They took the royalties for this. I got a check for $700, man, which, with those like we see Apple and Spotify, that's $700, but that's half a penny for each time
Yeah.
you play. That was like a
Yeah.
hundred spins,
Wow.
so that's where I realized, man, there's still people that like my stuff. I'm not making no money, but it's okay. But that's the people who see it, and so it's kind of cool that people still liked it, even though only the people that make money that now actually go touring now. If you can play some shows and go on the road, then you can make some money. But all
Yeah.
these
I mean,
pennies now that they make for these internet.
well, it's also a tough situation because when you're doing music for the Lord, you seem like you shouldn't really be doing it for the money. But people do have to make a living, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's I guess it's a double-edged sword when it comes to trying to receive royalties from Christian music, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It
That's
is. It
right. And
is.
so for me, I never had, I guess, what you would have. I had more fame than I had any of the riches.
Yeah.
Some people make the money. I didn't make the money, but I have a following.
Yes, and
And
you are an amazing guitarist. Holy pickles! I'm telling you, you're really dang good.
oh, thank you. I practiced for many years. I loved playing instruments.
Definitely, I can
So
tell. I can tell. I get enjoy
yeah,
watching you play.
I had brothers. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I get it. I get a joy watching you play because you can tell that you're
Oh,
playing from your heart. You just love it, and so that's good for you, man. I got a question,
yeah.
a
Praise
personal
God.
question, real quick about the album behind us. Okay, Sodom and
Okay.
Gomorrah. Did you really have an afro in that picture?
Yes, I did. I started growing my afro. It was in
That's sick.
1990, I think was it? Yeah, I think it was 1990 I started. And see, back then when I started growing my afro, that was played out. Black people did not have afros at that time. That's when they had
Yeah.
the flat or the high top, or they had the
The
fade.
weave.
Yeah, so in the early 90s, that you weren't wearing an afro back then. So for me, I was like still wearing an afro. And it was 1993 when I had the deal,
Yeah.
and of
Yep.
course the album right behind you. So at this time I had 5 inches. I had 5 inches of an afro.
Woo.
And I started saying I'm gonna grow up to a foot, 12 inches, which I did. Before I quit, I had this humongous afro. And the last picture I had in the band that was with us, I had a I lost a lot of pictures. And I last one had a picture of my biggest afro. And it was so huge, I had to wear hairspray. And I got
Yeah.
this thing pretty around. Like it's like the moon of this thing.
You look like Undercover
I
Brother, huh?
couldn't take it no more. I finally cut it. It was 96. I cut my hair off, which I feel bad, but I just couldn't have. It was too much of.
Have you ever seen that movie, Undercover Brother?
For which one is that?
The Undercover Brother. Have you seen that movie?
It's a
comedy.
movie.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
comedy by Saturday Night Live, and all of a sudden he's like, ooh, ooh. And he has this big old fro, and then what's Chris Kattan has a knife. He goes, oh, and part of his hair falls out, a big old chunk. It was
Right.
awesome. I love that movie. Anyways, enough of the silly stuff. That's awesome, though. Good for you. That's cool. So, what got you to want to play music?
One more time. What you say there?
What got you to want to play music and to write music?
Oh, well, I mean, music started from family. From I was the youngest in the family of six people. Or actually, I said seven because my grandmother, she stayed there too with us. But so I was the runt. Everyone, they were musicians, and for me, I learned all kinds of instruments around me. There was a trumpet,
Yeah.
there was a bass, a guitar, piano. My dad's saxophone. My mother was opera trained.
Wow.
So everyone was either singing, playing the guitar, or playing the bass, or playing drums, or something. And so for me, I learned all of it. Kind of a hodgepodge. I learned. So by the time I was 5 years old, I started being able to play the guitar. I could play the drums. I remember I started playing Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
For
My
me,
first
I
song,
play
guitar.
the drum. I remember I was playing this part, and so people started. They were able to look out. It wasn't this guy had instruments. Like, hey, this dude, he's a little what's that word? Prodigy.
Yeah.
I was a prodigy then when I was young, and now I'm older. It's not a big deal now. There's a bunch of people with talent, but when you're 7 years old, it's different. Then it's kind of a
Yes.
big deal. Then I started playing like I was 9 years old. I'm playing along with Rush, playing Tom Sawyer when that song came out, and I played
Yeah, I love Tom Sawyer. Yeah.
Hemispheres from Rush. Now I learned I had all the albums for Kiss, man, and I was 7 years old, and I remember I went to school. I went to grab a eight player. What do they call
Yeah.
it?
Eight-track?
Eight-track.
Player. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
eight-track.
my dad
I love
got
them.
to take for me. This lady, she's giving my dad a bad look, like, why are you buying this tape for this kid? He's like, if he wants to give him the tape if he wants it. So I'm like, I'm buying Kiss, I'm 7 years old and I'm learning how to play Dress to Kill album and
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, Kiss
but
was
that's
one
how I
of
learned how
my
to play this stuff.
Kiss was my first album. I got AC/DC, For Those About to Rock, and Kiss Alive at the same time. And I went and bought them with my own money, my own earnings, and it was a proud moment. I love it. So good for you. I actually I love to play several different instruments myself, so I understand that. Playing bass, that was my first instrument. Then guitar, I played, believe it or not, Stairway to Heaven was one of the first songs I learned. But I don't know it now. I have no idea. But
Right.
anyway, so do you have some more Excel and albums in the works right now, or are you mainly focusing on your new project called Furious Love?
I as far as records, I have well, I guess national or the best records I've put out 5 albums that are
Yep.
I guess my best work. Now since then I had I guess I call them B-sides. I put like Bandcamp.
Yeah, yeah.
I put about 8 more albums that are out there of the internet. And then I put out a couple other albums on Reverb Nation. And
Reverb
I put
Nation,
out
yes, sir.
some more albums. And then from there, I started putting out stuff that I released some underground, some stuff with some people. There's a few hands that I've put out about 10 more albums that are underground out there that I didn't put out. But what happened is I kind of had a following that people knew I played
Yeah,
all kinds of, or hip
yeah.
hop, an album for hip hop, a few different hip hop albums, put out some contemporary. But the thing that I'm the most I know the most is XL DVD. It is the
Yeah.
metal and the metal and rap. Because in 1993, nobody was really doing that. Now, I
Yeah,
mean, of course,
no.
I'm not the first one who did rock and rap, but this is where
Yeah.
they started a band that put out like a band, a front man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would say to me, in my opinion, is Rage Against the Machine,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
exactly.
put out.
That's what I looked at. Yeah.
I was with Epic. They signed us Words and BAI Brainstorm. They also put out for Epic. They gave us a side deal, a
Ooh.
distribution. For distribution deal, they Epic. So for me, I was all happy. It's like, man, I'm putting out this Epic. This is Michael Jackson's his label, and push out for Epic. And but there was 5 of us in that at that time for sorry, it takes me. I'm gonna get my words out here, man. But
No, you're
Breakstorm.
good. You're good, buddy.
So it was one of my records, SFC, the Dynamic Twins, Idol King, and I think they put out the Tunnel Rats too. They put out, and if I miss some, I miss, but they put it out, and so from there, then I started getting passed around from Epic, and they put the label. They dropped us, and the next I got picked up to Warner Bros. So for several months, I was with Warner Bros. And I couldn't get any help. I had no royalties or nothing for several years. The dark reels, I call it. Until it was 2015, I think it was. I think about 2014 is when Frontline put my record back out.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to go back to royalties again. And to this day, I still have royalties. And I remember I was talking to Dale Thompson because we were working for the Reconciled, and he was making things like, man, I'm not picking no royalties like that, But for me, it's like, man, it's kind of cool. I was still picking up. I mean, it's a small royalties check, but there is one. It's like I'm still people that have.
Still,
so that's kind of cool.
It's still love, man. Yeah, a little bit of love, but it's still love.
Yeah,
that's good. Good for you, man.
And as I started hanging out for Christian metal, for me, I became a Christian believer when I was like 1987, 88 is when I started to see some of these bands. So one I listened to was Bride. Bride was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
When I started
Fortification, baby.
When I started seeing these, oh yeah, 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 straight up, yeah.
Schools of the big dogs.
Yeah.
I love
Resurrection Band.
That's right. That's right.
it.
And okay, here's what I was saying. Here's what I was saying. This was a new thing. This was like a new kind of a this when they got this was before the word rapcore. They called it rapcore. So before rapcore, which I was calling it metal rap because I didn't know what else they call it.
Yeah.
So then when they put out rapcore was one of the first, I guess safely I can say, of in the Christian industry was doing rap and metal. It was XLDBD. I mean, and this was when, and then I had people who helped me out to put out, because I'd be in the studio and people would come and like checking it out. So I had people visiting the studio all the time. Jimmy Brown was up there, Crucified, the whole crew of all the hip hop to SFC. Like I said, the Dynamic Twins are hanging out.
Yep.
EL, Everyday Life with Ted Crickerly. He was up there up on the microphone. We had all these different people. And when they would come up, I say, "Hey, throw a guitar solo, play play." And because I was playing. Otherwise, I was kind of the what do they call it, the jack of all trades. So you said word.
Yeah.
So I'm playing guitar, playing bass, and so I'd have someone throw up there and play along in here. Cool. And so then when these guys is kind of connect a good buzz against some hip hop people, and then the metal crowd, they're together. So it's like, here's Deliverance with Jimmy he's one of the kings. One of the kings of metal, man. This guy he's ripping these songs. And next thing you got SFC, Chris Cooper from that side was one of the godfather of Christian hip hop. Yeah, these guys are both on this song. I'm playing here, and so it was a really cool thing, man. That able to, and then later, some years later, I put out 4 more different albums for XLDBD.
Yeah,
but it was a long 20 years later. I mean, it was pretty much like the I guess the prize is Sovereign America. That's the album. That's
so cool.
I was 20 years old, 21, and this album is kind of like that's the album, And later, as I put out some good stuff, people listen to it and they appreciate it.
Yeah.
But by that time, you had 2,000 other rapcore groups. But in '93, it was not everybody. That was it took some time before it took people,
rapcore. And that's kind of the more avenue that I go when it comes to rap. I love rapcore, like Body Count and all that good stuff. I saw Rage Against the Machine in Compton, California.
Right.
Yeah. I got shot at that.
CCM magazine put me out there, and they were putting out. You had XLDBD, who they tried to say they were Body Count, but they know XL. They know who actually is for real, or something like that. I would never say nothing like that. Ice-T was, at that time, it was brand fresh stuff. So it was it contended at the same times, in the quote unquote Christian industry with this guy is hanging up there with her, So
yeah. So tell me about your new project you're working on, Furious Love.
Furious Love is my homie here,
Dale. What's up, Dale?
He's a drummer. He's a good drummer. I don't want to play with somebody if they're not a good drummer. I don't want to waste time.
Wasn't Dale a part of the album Behind?
Oh, no.
No.
Right now we started to put out a page for this band because we have a band called Furious Love. Yeah. So we're doing covers from the early '90s, like Barren Cross, Novella, Barren Cross. That's that right? Barren Cross, White Cross. There's all kinds, and most of these groups that we're working on. That Dale's working on a lot of these bands because he knows more bands than I do right now. He's up to speed of these. But we've put out so far we've worked through 3 so far. songs like we did See No Evil from Holy Soldier,
Oh yes, good song.
Barren Cross, We're Out of Time, that one. And so for me, when I started trying to play, and we had hope to do this, because for a while there, I couldn't play these solos. This year, just 6 months ago, I couldn't even play solos. I started being able to play some rhythm guitar part because if I didn't have hope, I thought I was done and out. Like I couldn't, because I couldn't even sing. From having the stroke, I couldn't rap. I
Wow.
just 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago is the first time I kicked a verse in rap because I couldn't rap. So now I put down a voice. I'm getting up to speed again.
Yeah.
Been healing.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing better,
So,
buddy. Gosh, I'm sorry that happened to you.
yeah,
Really.
man, it was the other side of things of when things were good times, and then there was a dark side, which of course for me, what really began was uh, having a divorce. Um, I was married for 30 years, and for me, it was I thought we were clear that we were never going to have a divorce in 30 years, right? So when
Yeah.
it happened, I didn't do very. I thought everything was cool. I thought, I was gonna make it and everything, but man, I broke. I was in love. I was in love, and
Of
now
course.
I guess I'm not in love anymore. I guess after time, time goes away. Things change through time, but
Yeah.
um, so for a whole year, I didn't take any of my medication because I had diabetes for 30 years back then, and I kept myself. I had my life still, I had my feet. I have to say I had my feet because people start losing their limbs, with
Yeah,
diabetes,
yeah, yeah.
So I still living. But for this last year, I was drinking, I was partying, um, and it's not. And he should be someone who's not taking medication should not be living how I was.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I didn't give a blankety blank because I didn't. I didn't give a. I
Yeah.
didn't care. And so then from there, then I started being very rude to
Hmm.
people. I was a pastor, and then all of a sudden, then I wasn't. I wasn't a pastor, and I didn't care that you didn't care that I wasn't a pastor
Yeah.
because I didn't lie to people. I didn't lie. I was telling the truth of where I was. I wasn't trying to let me face. There's a lot of people that save face. There's a lot of pastors that save face because I know behind doors for pastors, they call it pastors, but you don't tell the truth of what's really going on. You don't have your problem of pornography that you have back there as a pastor who won't let everybody know they have a problem because you're supposed to look everything is okay as a pastor.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
so the people out there that are seeing the streets of how they see what's really going on for the streets because they're telling the truth of the streets.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the problems they are because you can't lie about that, or you can try to, but that's when people getting taken out. You're getting taken out. So when I started learning, if I'm going to be out in the streets, which this whole year where I just lost this stroke, and I next I'm in California, I'm in LA, I'm on the streets, man. I don't know where I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping overnight on the concrete, just within this year. And then from there, I'm trying to figure out how did I go from where I'm from the bottom of the pile? How did this happen to me? And so this is where I was able to. I had hope because I was going to take my life. I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I was calling out. I mean, it's like if I don't get help, God to help me. Why do I keep even trying to stay here? I don't want to be bedridden because I couldn't. I was in bed all the time in the hospital, and then right from the hospital, then to jail because I didn't go. I had a court date. I had to, but I couldn't go because I was in California. And then I'm in California. We're not supposed to make it to Iowa. So when I come into Iowa, I'm late, and the bulletin right from Iowa or California to Iowa, right to jail. And I'm out there when they finally let me out for 2 months because I didn't know when they were going to. I don't know how long that was going to be, but praise God, they got me out for 2 months, and then from there right to the nursing home. 2 more months in the nursing home. So I've never been a year where I've had the kind of problems, and I'd probably be talking for 3-4 hours of stuff that I went through some issues.
Yeah.
But what helped me is I had some friends,
Yep.
people who I call my friends when you're the bottom of the pile, and then you have some real friends, and Dell's he's one of my friends, because I was talking about being in jail, and there's a Christian that was talking to me because there's having a few people who I talked that hope.
Yeah, I served 3
Dell,
years. So I understand.
Dell's one
3
of
years
them.
in California.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was the last thing he
I
said.
said I served 3 years in California.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've been struggling with methamphetamine and all that stuff too, So I understand the drug addict type of lifestyle. Yeah. So I feel for you, buddy.
It's a vicious drug that people live their lives. I mean, this is not. It's not someone who hangs out. Well, I shouldn't say this. Some people have problems with drinking too, but the rush is, heroin, and meth are people that you're having problems. Like, you're taking lives out quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But for me, once again, I was able to live for Jesus, man, and he gave me hope, he gave me grace, he gave me mercy.
Yes,
and
sir.
so when I gave other people mercy and grace too, and I quit giving this always giving a hard word, like I'm always preaching, because I preach and I preached hard. But so what when people don't want to hear about Jesus, when they can't see he's got real problems?
Yeah.
Do you know about going to church? You got a building full of 300 people who don't know any of the people of the streets. You ain't gonna talk to them. And so for me, I going into the churches, and I went to the streets and tell people about Jesus on the streets. If I can't talk to them, who wants to talk to them? And so this is when I lost my license. I lost my pastor license, but then I put numbers of people who learned about Jesus right in the dope house.
Yeah.
I know where you are, and that's where they can come and have they'll talk to you, because they're not going to come and they're not going to come through your doors to go visit church. And I'm not making fun of that, but they're not coming to see them. They're going to see where they're at. So we're supposed to be going to them in the first place. You bring Jesus to them, not come to your come visit church. They don't care about wearing their nice outfit, their nice shoe, in these colored glass. And I'm not making fun. I'm just saying,
it's like if Jesus, he went to the sick. You know what I mean? He went to the
right, and that's where
he didn't go to those people that
he's out there with the sick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he was.
Yeah,
that's for me. This is the first time I was genuine sick, and but anyway, I had hope, and if I can't tell the people the truth about, then we're here.
That's right.
If I can't tell you what's real, then let's go back and let me go get record deal with nuclear blast, and let me get one of these metal deals.
Yeah.
Instead of the Christian industry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So,
I do.
So that's kind of
good for you, getting back into music, getting back in the flow of things. And thank glory to God for giving you healing.
About
you know what
Curious
I mean?
Love now is we're going to be putting out this album, and I guess right now what I would say force are the first hitters is Dale, who's playing drums.
Yeah.
Right now I'm playing all the rhythm section, and then his friend, or our friend now, Janae, is our female singer. She's playing the heavy rock. She's ripped on the vocals. She's good, man. And,
that's awesome.
And so it made me happy. It's like, cool, man. We have a female front lady for metal. And,
yeah.
It still gets the growl, and she can sing the pretty voice, and she can say heavy. And so we have three. We've only had one so far that we put. See No Evil. That's the first one we put out there.
Holy Soldier. Good album.
And we have like 4 more recorded but not mixed yet.
Oh, okay.
We-
Wonderful.
we
Now,
never
I
tried-
noticed on the list you had like a picture with a bunch of band names on it, and
Yeah.
Vengeance was on it, and Mortification. You seriously gonna do covers of them?
Okay, so you want to hear our
They're
track
like my
listing?
favorite bands. I
You
love
just want
them.
to hear the track listing for the first album?
Yeah.
All right. You ever heard of a group called Philadelphia?
No.
All right, look up Search and Destroy.
Okay.
Like 1985 or six. So kind of like, wave number one or wave two of, the Christian metal movement. But it's a song called Tell the Truth. Resurrection Band, The Chair.
Okay. Res band. Okay. Gotcha.
That song's about a crippled, disabled man in a chair, and he doesn't have any hope except Christ. So
Yeah.
that's a great song. I was Todd's pick, XL's pick
Yeah.
here.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Todd chose Son of God by Neon Cross.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'll
Neon
throw
Cross.
that one. And
Get deep.
let's see here. Give Me Love and Do We Just Surrender by Novella.
Okay.
We just finished Do We Just Surrender. We finished up the drums, guitars for that.
That's sweet. What about Guardian? What I noticed Fire and Love, man. I saw that. I was on that tour. I saw that tour and set up their stage here in Twin Falls, Idaho. It was a good show. I think we froze. Hello? I think we froze. Hello, and thank you for already did that. We will never discuss that. No one will ever know.
Well,
I'll
I'll
cut all this part out and chop it. It'll
All
web
right,
it.
All right.
All
slice
right.
it. Cut it up.
That's right. Okay, here we go. Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
Dude, long time no see. Dude, what's cracking?
Talking about Furious Love.
Yeah, that's right. Furious Love. That's right.
All right, yeah,
You're
the
pretty
track
proud
was-
of this project, I heard.
It's a pretty good
We both
name, man.
are.
He came up with the name of the and even the logo. Logo.
Logo.
Logo.
The logo's gonna change, but here's our track listing. I'll make this quick for you. Philadelphia, Tell the Truth. Novella, Give Me Love and Do We Just Surrender. Bearing
Okay.
Cross, Out of Time. The Resurrection Band, The Chair. White Heart, Heroes from 1985 Hotline.
Yeah.
Neon Cross, Son of God. Holy Soldiers, See No Evil, and Stranger. And then Guardian, Sister Wisdom.
Wow.
Here's a gem. Messiah Prophet, Master of the Metal. And
Wow.
then Shout, Give Me an Answer.
Wow. That's good stuff. And now you're gonna be doing this as albums? This is not like an album project, or is this a
Yeah,
live
yeah,
project?
But we're also going to be playing live.
Okay.
In fact, you guys were talking about, addiction and stuff, and kind of our idea is to go play drug rehab centers, prisons, veteran service organizations,
Yeah.
and most of these people haven't heard these songs, so they're going to go, oh, those are great songs. They won't know.
Exactly.
Unless they're, hardcore Christian metal fan like us, like, 1 out of 1,000 or whatever. But
Yeah.
But just the message, taking that message of hope and inspiration, the truth about our Savior to prisons.
Yep.
We drug rehab side of that's kind of goal. But we have a really phenomenal singer. She has a YouTube channel, Randy Janae. So it's Randy. Janae is Janee. She does all kinds of covers. I mean, she does everything from
Cool.
karaoke to the Scorpions, So she
Woo, go girl.
she's a great performer. So we're gonna perform together with a little old school like heavy metal. What do you call that? It's when you're like swinging back and forth and doing moves and stuff. What's that called?
Which one?
When you're like doing moves together.
Oh,
yeah. Vocals.
Choreography.
That's it. That's
Some
it.
old
'Cause
school
honestly,
choreography.
my mind was blank this time, man. Seriously, I couldn't think of it. Oh, that's funny.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
So,
Good
yeah,
thing you're
yeah,
around,
that's
Dale.
what we
You're
do.
helpful.
Yeah, thanks. That's our idea, is to play a live, maybe hopefully a few festivals too.
That'd be
so,
awesome.
yeah.
Wonderful, man. You got some great lineup with great songs. Good for you.
Yeah, and what's cool is that song "Out of Time" by Barren Cross.
Yes.
Okay, you know the song. Their drummer, Steve Whitaker, is dying of Lou Gehrig's disease.
Ooh.
So, he's in full-time care right now, and so we're gonna play that. Well, we're gonna record it. We've already recorded some of it. Release, hopefully release it. Sell it. Give all those all the money from that song, from that single,
Yeah.
to his family to help pay for his basically full-time nursing care.
Yeah, that's honorable. Good job.
We've
Good
spoken
for
with
you.
Barron Cross. We've spoken with Mike Lee or Mike Drive and Jim Laverde, and we're gonna meet with them in a few weeks at the Barron Cross X Center show in Ohio.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about how we can work together on that.
Yep.
So that's pretty exciting,
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's awesome. But it was so funny about 1993, real quick. That's the year I graduated high school, and I went to the Marine Corps. Yeah, 93. So that's a big year for me as well. Just to let you know. I saw 1993. I'm like, yeah. I finally graduated.
What was your MLS?
I was a 3521 Humvee mechanic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I was a range coach instructor. I was a third award expert on the rifle. So I was pretty darn good on shooting. So luckily I didn't have to see any action, except for the clubs.
I fixed helicopter repair in the Army. 88, 89, 88, 80, 89, 90. But then I was going to go to Saudi Arabia for the Persian Gulf War.
Yeah.
I had this study that I have comes from Army vaccines.
Wow.
Vaccines, a cocktail, 4 or 5 at a time. I had mine at 7:30 in the morning. By 3:30, I was sick. By midnight, I was paralyzed from the neck down.
Wow.
For almost a week.
Yeah, so sorry, but thank you for your service.
Yeah, it's called Guillain-Barré syndrome. So I got out after that, but it just kind of caused a little bit of a tick.
Yeah.
So promise you, I haven't been drinking. With my vocals.
I'm holding you to that. Okay. Yeah, man. But no, seriously, thank you for your service, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, deal, man. I'm gonna let you guys.
All right.
See you guys later. Let you guys take it from here.
All right. You take care, Dale. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, he's a cool dude, man. You're blessed to have him around.
He's a good guy.
That's right. So
he's a friend.
Tell me, I don't want to get all personal, but you said you had a stroke. How long ago was that, sir?
I had a stroke. Really, more the believing the beginning of February last year, so 24.
Yeah.
And I was drinking, smoking,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
if
I
they had
know.
some, I was doing all it. And like I said, for me is it's funny now. Now I have a habit now of saying my ex. It was my ex-wife, because I called her my spouse for so long, but I don't call her that no more. We have a divorce. But
Yeah.
so for this year when I had that happen, we fought, and for years fighting till we finally for real we called it quits. And
Yeah.
then so for me, and then I tried to work to move on, but it didn't right away. I don't, who can just, in my opinion, how do you just call it quits? So for me,
And
this whole
then move on.
yeah, so I tried moving on, but I tell you what made it easy for me to move on was let me have a few shots and let me have a few
Yeah.
I had a broken heart, man. And so it's like
Of course.
it was it was easier for me to take suicide rather than to go have me some shots.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a few drinks, and so and I was drinking, and I didn't have I wasn't hiding, excuse me, I wasn't hiding about drinking. If I was drinking, I was at the bar drinking. And then we get into fights, people saying, Todd, you should this, you should that. I said, well, why
Yeah.
don't you mind your business, man? No, for real,
Oh,
really, man. So this was good, and it was good to reach for a genuine, bona fide bottom,
yeah.
all low, and so when I had a stroke, I couldn't speak. I can't say no words, man. And my
Wow.
leg, my left hand, it wasn't playing no guitar. I was paralyzed on some side. If I could walk, I could, I was not walking well. My legs were bleeding because they were the swelling that I had. That I couldn't breathe. I was If I didn't have a heart attack or beginnings, I definitely had beginning of heart congestion. Um, I was a mess. I was,
Yeah.
it, and probably if it wasn't for me of divine healing, I wouldn't have came out of that. I wouldn't have been talking. I wouldn't have been
Yeah.
like I know I've been around some people when I was hanging out for the nursing home. Like I said, for 2 months, I was hanging around about 15, 20 other guys with me that they had strokes. And some of them, you know, 10 years, 15 years. One of the books I wrote about someone else had a stroke 15 years before they came out, or this person came out and had some help from being able to
Yeah.
talk.
Definitely. Yeah.
So for me to even have this conversation, I can even have a conversation with you right now. I already call it a miracle because most people don't talk that fast in a year or even half a
Exactly.
year. Where I was able to have that and being able to start having practice sessions where I could say, "Here's me playing." I just yesterday, or I was playing the bass for
Yeah. I
Striper.
see that. Yeah, that was
And
good.
I'm playing rather well, I'd say, for
Yeah, you
where
killed it.
I had to train my fingers again because they changed differently. So I had to learn different my shapes, changing how to be able to play the guitar. So, man, it gave me a brand new hope, and I quit talking mess on people because I never know when I'm going to get my plug pulled out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
hope and starting to tell. I gave a lot of apologies to many people, man. I'm sorry, man, because I was an asshole. Sorry if that's a bad word for some, but that's I have no
It's all
better
right.
word.
You can say
Where I
whatever
was,
you want, man. You're not judged here.
and but to come back to where I came back to have love for other people,
Yep.
even to the assholes. I'll give you love, man. I give you
That's right.
love for you. You're not very cool to be with, man, but I love you, man, and
Yeah, yeah.
for I do, and then there's for the people that I've hurt you to the that you may never talk to me ever again. You may never want to talk to me ever again, and I understand, because I can't force you to give me forgiveness. I don't. You may never want to forgive me ever, but I'm gonna forgive you, and I'm gonna forgive other people too. And I'm gonna ask God to forgive me for my
Yeah.
sins. I need forgiveness
Yeah.
because if I have for ask Him to love me, well, how am I gonna ask you God to love me? But I can't stand this. I hate this dude's guts.
Exactly.
But I love you though, God.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
So
hypocrite. Yeah.
right,
And
I,
don't want to be that.
you
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in order to receive love, you got to give love too.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's just, and obviously God's working on you. He loves you, dude. And you went through all that. It's another thing I'm going through. I know it's not as bad as a stroke. Yeah, my finger, man, my little finger, man. I can't. It's. I broke it. I deboned the tip of my finger off. So
oh
and I'm a
wow,
guitarist. So I mean, I'm trying to get through. I can't even look. I can't even close up my hand. So I mean, it's like I don't know. I have issues going on, and I love the Lord with all my heart. So I wanna play some music. Hey, Todd Stevens, my boy, my main man, my brother from another mother. Hello, young man.
what's going on? How you doing it?
I'm feeling groovy.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a good day. What can I say, man? It's a good day. So
it's a good day.
definitely. So
So I'm trying to make the size
oh
bigger. Anyway,
no, sound good. You
you
look good.
you
You having a good
sounds
day?
good. You. Well, anyway, I was.
It's fine. It's fine. How you doing? Okay.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah,
What
man.
happened?
It's good.
It's
Uh,
good.
it was a good week. So
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey,
they
so
yeah, surprise for my birthday. So
wait, tomorrow is?
no, my birthday is until Thursday,
Oh,
uh,
Thursday is your birthday.
on the 3rd. But this weekend they had people came around, they did some surprise, that band, Novella,
Okay.
the guitarist, Eric. Yeah, he showed up. He they flew him over there and they surprised he come walking through there. I was like, oh man, I thought I was just
Oh,
talking about him because I like that band
yeah, yeah.
and he's a good guitar. Came out there and he helped me up some stuff that I because I lost some of my chops, sorry, and so I was learning some playing the guitar solos and whatnot, and just learning some uh played the song. One of the songs we're playing is
For
Surrender.
Furious Love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So right, and so I learned some stuff. We put out a jam out there and had like a little mini a concert, and man, it was pretty cool because the girl that sings with us, her name is Janae, and she's the front lady for Furious Love. So she came out and we did a few songs. We did about like 5 or 6 songs, and then just kind of having some improv, some jamming, and
Right. So
So
how did
it was
you?
pretty
How do you feel
cool.
you did? You
Yeah.
did pretty good.
Did it come out? Sid? Yeah, it came out. I'm sorry, man. I'm getting some
Yeah, I get it
some
too.
scattics.
Yeah, I don't
We
know
have
why.
we're out in the Knox kind of, it's the farm, and
Yeah,
out there that tower. So it's kind of, the internet is kind of, it's it's pretty close to not being done with it. But
that's awesome. That hey, so you told us about uh, having the medical issue that you had, the stroke and all that. Do you feel that you have a
yeah,
second chance at putting out your music and playing your music? Do you feel this is your second another chance for you?
I definitely do feel like I have another chance, because I didn't know I was going to be able to have another chance.
Yeah, exactly.
And
A lot of people don't
I
recover
was saying
like
that
you have.
no, they don't. When I was at the nursing home, because I was there for about 3 months in the nursing home. I mean, first it was the hospital. My initial hospital was California, and
Yeah,
I traveled to his funeral, and then I didn't go. I didn't get to go to his funeral, to the service, because they wouldn't let me do anything because I had a stroke so bad, and I
yeah,
makes sense that they didn't let me out. But so then I went roaming, like I said, I was roaming the streets because I kind of ran ran from the hospital, and so
fugitive.
so 9 days on the streets, man, and this is the first time in my life that I've never stayed overnight, like where I didn't know how to find my home, or on the
Yeah,
streets. And so when I made out from California, I got a ride to Iowa, and I went through. I mean, I started fighting, and immediately I went right to jail. So then I was in jail, and I didn't know how long they let me out. So it took 2 months, which was cool. I uh, Time is slow when you're in jail. I mean, it's
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
and then because of my condition, I praise God. That's where I got right to the ER, because my
Yeah,
heart and conditions to breathe and all that, which I had saying, hey, I don't know if they thought I was joking or if I was like lying about it. I was
yeah,
like, dude, I need some help. And so when they finally uh, rushed me to the hospital, so then I was in the hospital again for another. This was about a month, almost a month.
hmm.
They helped me, and then went right to the nursing home. And so the people I'm hanging out at the nursing home was a
Hmm.
lot of people that had strokes. So I'm
Yeah.
around people that had strokes, and some of these people have been there for years, 3 years, some up to 15 years before they get help.
Wow.
Uh, So for me, the condition of my stroke, it's nothing short of a miracle that I can even talk to you right now. I mean, to have
Yeah.
a conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a blessing.
like I said,
Blessing for me too.
yeah, but you did, and do what they can do, and I'm talking to people, and I think I'm talking, and they can't even see my talking, because I can't even, like it was a dyslexia, kind of like I can't say these words. The letters are all mixed up, and
Ah,
so I think I'm
okay.
talking. Then I'm mad with people because they can't hear me talking, and I'm like getting mad at them, and they're looking at me like at each other, like, what do they do? It was crazy, because then I had that feeling of no
Oh,
hope, kind of a feeling,
yeah.
and this has got me back to God again, because this year was a lot of anger. This last couple of years, a lot of anger, a lot of hopeness, loss of my now I say my ex-wife.
Yes.
I didn't want it to go. I wanted it to stay. I wanted our marriage to stay. So when it didn't, And I realized that we're not working out. It's not, we're not fighting for this. Some of us anyway. But
Yeah, I get you.
so I thought it was, you know, I think I would be okay and stuff. But then after some time, I realized I wasn't having okay. I was not whole. I was messed up. And then from there, I didn't really care because you have a lot of people like, oh, you should this, or hey, you should this, or you should this, you should this. And I'm like, you know, once you mind your blankety blank, you know, and then I didn't want to talk to nobody. And I wasn't trying to have people to, you know, give the of being being coached. And so then I was out and I started drinking. And I wasn't trying to cover nothing because for sometimes I would cover, you know, for a while I was trying to cover some stuff to look a certain way. And I can't be covering that. This is what I'm doing right now. This is what I am. This is what I'm doing.
Isn't it funny how that
isn't it
funny how we think that we
a lot of Christians that were,
you know?
I
said, isn't it funny how we think that we can cover our problems up with alcohol, but it doesn't. It just makes it worse. Even with myself, my mom was an alcoholism, died from alcoholism, you know. So I understand about that. We got a lot more things in common than we think. So definitely, we got a lot of things in common. That's why I love talking to you, brother. Go ahead, continue, please.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line, man, is that I'll say if, and I believe in one, but if I was saying, if there is a God, it seemed he was not trying to help me at all. That's what it seemed like, because everything I had, I lost. I lost my car. I lost my ballings. I didn't have none of that. I had then first I was in California and I knew some people in California, but this much time, I didn't know where to get to know him. I lost my phone. I didn't know my phone.
Wow, that sucks.
And then this is the first time I'm like, God, you know, what do I do? And so then I thought, okay, I got help. They gave me a ride. I made it back to Iowa. Cool, I get there. And I mean, within the hour, right to jail. And I'm like, what's going on? Lord. And I was in the cell for 3 weeks. So I'm in the room. It's like in the hole, you know, but except for not in the dark. But I'm in the 3-hour room, white walls in the smaller room. And I started kind of going crazy because I can't talk. I can't even use a pencil or a pen. I can't use paper. And then because I had a stroke, at this time I said, let me out to general population because I want to be around people. I'd rather be around the inmates than in the cell. So finally I had to learn. I started praying, and God, I said, you need to help me to talk. And so I had to I prayed, and someone gave me a Bible. One of the jailers finally gave me a Bible, and he gave one. So I'm trying to read, and I can't even read now. This first time, I've never read. I can't read the Bible. I'm like, oh man.
I'm gonna start calling you Job. Your new nickname is Job instead of Tom.
And then I'm just reading these words because I can't even understand them. I'm trying to read. One chapter was like hellish because I don't know what he's saying. And
thank you, Jesus.
But from there, I started being able to have some words, slowly finding some words. And I was able to get enough understanding that I need to get to the population, which they did. They put me from the stroke. Then I finally got to be in the unit of there's 12 men that were in my cells.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, so then you're walking out there and you know, you're looking at, and where we were all together. So you had some people that were, there's some people from had some troubles and stuff. And so I had to, you know, you had people talking about, someone's asking, hey, you want some of your food? It's like, no, man, you know, you can't. You got to eat your own food, man. So they can give
Yeah, no
you.
doubt. Yeah, no
People try
doubt.
to use you up. So then after a while, then I started realizing because I didn't actually want some of this food, but I had to get to a place. Then when we were cool with each other, and I started giving out some of my food to some people, things,
Yeah, yeah, of
and
course.
then I had some people that you kind of had a camaraderie.
Of course, yeah. Yep, you said it right.
So I
I
got out.
I,
I'm
I
sorry.
understand about jail because I had to serve for 30 months before. So
Uh,
yeah, in California. So yeah, so it wasn't fun,
yeah, I mean,
but I
it's
understand.
it's a cool situation. Um,
I know that room you're talking about, man. I wrote some lyrics on the door so that when the door shut, they didn't see it, and all that when they inspected. But yeah, I used the pewter cross necklace, and
yeah.
I wrote with that. I didn't even have a pen or a paper or anything. Yeah, it was crazy. So, anyway, sorry to take away from you, but told you I
Oh,
relate.
and for me too is that I'm a pastor. I mean, I was licensed pastor,
Yep.
and I went to leave Jesus about to meet people for Jesus, and
Yeah, of
concerts.
course.
I've put. I'm not joking around. I mean, I've helped people, thousands of people, and then I'm going to try to heal all of them, and then you have some of them that actually come, and some of them that come for Jesus. Some people change their life around.
That's good.
And then so then you're helping someone out, and then for the first time in my life where I've been so far down and out that kind of definitely a situation like Job. I'd say for me though, I didn't keep my integrity like how Job did. But I did many situations. There's a lot of things that I didn't go out. I didn't go out what I could have, but I got help from God, and this is where I had my wrecking that I decide that I'm going to live for God, even if I die, you know.
Yep.
And this is when I started learning. I had, because I had not only a stroke, I had started having seizures, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
on the floor, and
Do you still have those?
oh, seizures.
Yeah.
I had not never since I got my sugars came back down. Then no, but I was going on the way out, man. I probably close to a coma, and
Man,
I think
glad you're around.
everything that hurt you that's where I was at, um, and then see, then they wanted to give me medication, but I was okay getting medication, but they would give me some things wrong. So I
Hmm.
I gained I gained up to 311 pounds within the year. I was up to 311 pounds. So I was
Ooh,
at,
come on, man.
and I'm getting big, and I can't. I was getting hard going up the stairs, and so I'm kind of looking
Whoa.
around like somebody trying to, if they're trying to get me or something. Um, but when they took me to the ER, then they realized, I was bloated, so I had a heart congestion
Yeah.
where around my heart, water all around my body, and so
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
this surgery. It's kind of using like this, like kind of fish line that
Yeah.
they put in my arm, and they started ripping through here, and I started pushing in the syringe into my arm, and they started water out. So I
Oh,
dropped quickly about 30 pounds within the week. It was like water pound that came out. So the rest of it is now is at 270 pounds. So from there, I started slowly dropping pounds. I started losing about a pound every day for my diet. So it wasn't like unhealthy. Just I was just dropping weight steadily. So within 2 months, I had dropped 120 pounds. So so I lost all that to a better size,
yeah. That's awesome.
heart healthy, being able to walk, being able to and it was hard. It was hard to do a lot of things. So,
Yeah. You look like you're a pretty tall dude. How
no,
tall are
I'm
you?
I'm like 5'8". I'm about 5'8".
Oh, you're about five. Oh, that's it. Wow, you look
Yeah,
taller.
yeah. So just it's
I'm 5'3", but my ID says 5'4". I lied. Yeah, I added an extra one there. I'm probably
yeah.
5'2" by now. I think I'm shrinking.
Mm.
What a testimony you got, buddy. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
And
really glad
so
you're around, though, and I'm really glad that we're able to talk because I know that you started off, with even what was behind us, that album started off right, and you love the Lord with all your heart, and life does seem to get us down, it's how we act or react to it in the situations. I me myself was an addict for many years of meth and coke and all that, and I have backslid a couple times myself, and I understand that. Things happen, and
right.
and sometimes we just make bad choices, and but it doesn't mean
Absolutely.
God loves us any less, or family loves us any less. So, but I love you, man, and I'm proud of you.
Well, but thank you, man. And but thank God I do, because
Yeah, definitely.
there's a lot of people, for example, like David. He's a good example. This man, he was a heart after God.
Yep.
And holy man, David.
Yep.
But David, he had this time in his life where David went out to lay down with Bathsheba, one of this
Oh.
hot woman.
Oh.
He's gonna girl. And this was a dude, this was one of the homie you're gonna hang out with was Uriah. And so they wanted this woman so bad, they put Uriah up to the front line so he could be killed, so he can have
Yeah.
this girl. Pastor David.
Yeah, Pastor
Now
David, no
you
doubt.
can't go see now you got
That's
Bathsheba,
funny.
and they went right time the first time there, he's got pregnant, right to death, man. You're gonna die, this kid, first baby. And he had to come back, it's like, look, now you have a wife now. You got this girl, Bathsheba, killed his father or your
Yep.
husband. And then he comes back to get right with God with David. Or in my situation, hey man, I love God. Last year, I was in the pit. I was around some people, hanging with the wrong people.
Yep.
First time from I was a pastor, and next I'm hanging on the streets. And I didn't want nothing to be around people around the church. I would rather be around the thugs. And so when the time came up, do I need to be on the streets? Yeah, I can be on the streets.
Yeah.
Is that what I want? No, I'll go wherever God wants me to be, or who He wants me to be with. You
Yeah.
know. Uh, but did I hang around the thugs? Yes, I did. you know. And then you have people that, oh, I'll never come back to this guy.
Yeah.
I'll never ever again about this guy. Of course you won't, because you're a perfect man, aren't you?
Yeah.
You
It's
got everything, don't you? No. And so what happens is you get where you can have your forgiveness, and then now God has forgiven you, but He looks at someone else, he will not have forgiveness. He won't get their forgiveness, but God's right here saying, I'm giving forgiveness to the guy. He's giving me grace and mercy, but you won't hold a grudge. And now see, this is how God He works. He takes 14 different one girl, excuse me, one bird for 14 different stones. It takes out all these situations all
yeah.
get taken in one time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing where I'm talking about, where God's helping people to hear what they are getting help, but some people have learned to get a hard heart.
Yes.
They're hardened now, but they're looking to God, but they have a hard heart. So it's hard stuff, man. You have to
Yeah.
get to where you actually truly look for God and look for His grace and His mercy.
Yeah. There's a Keith Green. You know Keith Green, right? The music artist. And he had a song. Well, it's a scripture actually, but it's a song that talks about there are things I hate that I end up doing. You know, there
Yeah.
are things I love that I don't do, and all that, and I mean, it's so true that sometimes that even though we do mean right and we do have love of the Lord in us, that we still make poor choices, you
Right.
know. I
And
do it daily, I do it weekly, whatever you want to say. I mean, I just got a potty mouth from hell, you know. I try not to though, but I do. I know I do. It's
oh
just,
yeah.
but I do love the Lord with all my heart. I mean, there are things I hate. I end up doing though. So that's kind of what you're getting at a little bit. I feel.
I hear. I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So, for me now, uh, I, Dell, these guys, they took me in, and from there, I've had a lot of help.
That's awesome.
Help doctors. Um, my condition of my heart is better. Everything is up and up. My health, I can walk now. I'm walking between 5 and 7 miles a day. I'm walking. Um, I'm lifting because for a while this whole year, it's like, I mean, just because I had a bad year, it's like all my muscles went down. I got shrunked up, and so I was like, man, I had to get the protein and start lifting, start doing, trying to get
It eats you from the
trying to get
inside out, doesn't it?
my points come back up again.
Oh.
Yeah, get my rocks on. There you go.
Yeah, but it does. So sin eats you from the inside out, buddy. You know that? It does, man. It's a cancer. So, okay, we know that you have the Furious Love Project coming up, which is awesome.
All
Or
right.
do we plan on any Excel project coming out?
Yes, there's a project that I've
Or
been
am I
working
speaking too soon?
3 years with Dale Thompson from Bride, and
Okay.
we've done an album together. So we did one already before the
Okay.
Reconcile, the first album, but now
Okay.
we're working this one. So we got 10 songs with Dale singing already, and so now it's mixing. It's a process of mixing and where it's going to go. But there's
And
man, in
that's
my
what
opinion, it rapping it
Reconciled
is heavy.
is Reconciled is the name of the project?
Yes,
Okay.
the reconcile, oh man, recycle. I'm getting the word right now. Recycle, recycle to Kyle. For Kyle.
Just text
I'll
me
get
it
him.
later, man. Text me.
This next year right here.
Oh, that's funny.
His name.
But so no
Reconcile.
Reconciled. Got it. So
Yeah.
what I'm getting at though, are we gonna have you rap it again?
Yes. Um, yeah. I mean, I put some out there, stuff that I'll be I was gonna be actually here in about another week or so or two, I'm gonna be putting some Pete's views, so they can say, hey,
Oh yeah,
here's
okay.
XL, Dale Thompson. We're putting an album. It's XL on the music, Dale for the vocals. And
Okay.
this album, this is a good album, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course I'm biased, but I mean, I've been some songs. It's like,
You're
okay, play some
you're confident.
this stuff
Confident.
out some good stuff. And
Well, honestly, you have to, if you don't enjoy what you put out, you shouldn't even put it out anyways. So
yeah, yeah.
and
So
Dale, have it Dale, man. And for those that are listening, Dale Thompson is of Bride and many other stuff. So obviously, his voice is tremendous. So
yeah, yes, yes. And man, Dale has been he's been very patient. Um, these last 3 years, he's known a lot of my situations. I've been going through different things for things I want, the harshest thing in my life, man. In my life, the hardest thing was losing your woman.
yeah, that would be
we
hard.
had there's differences, and I I loved her. I will love her till the end. And if I have
Yes, of
another
course.
woman, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I would say I'd probably love her too, but I don't know, man. This is my first, and for three decades together. So
Yeah.
but for me, I went into I don't know, like a bad cocoon, something. It was bad.
Yeah.
Um,
I noticed you
so
have.
getting out, opening my eyes was almost deaf. Like
Yeah.
then I had to cry out to God, man. Um, then I need, hey, I think I would go ahead to live if I can, if I can live
Yeah,
with,
of course. I noticed you have a daughter and a couple sons, right? And
yeah, yeah. I've got two
yeah,
daughters and three sons. Yeah,
yeah, your daughter looks. I'm sorry, but if you were a female,
yeah,
yeah, that's what she
yeah,
looks like. She looks just like you,
yeah.
man. Like you in
She's my
drag.
youngest. Yeah, yeah. That's right. You know, man, my my daughter is she's wild, and hey, man, I've taught her about God. But this year we weren't together, this whole year. So she's out doing what she's doing, man. And you know what? I love her. That's my daughter,
Of
and
course.
I'll be there. And I pray because, man, Lord, I don't want to. I'll break someone off, man. If I gotta hurt you, I will, man. So I mean, so I pray, God help, Lord, you know, protect her, put her in her arms by you. Age where they are, they meet a certain age, and then it's kind of you did your teaching,
Yes,
and you
exactly.
keep on doing it with your father, but there's somewhere where they kind of stick their own ways now what they're going to do, and and then they'll have some
Yeah,
problems where they get hurt in this, or they get their heart feelings or this and that, and then they learn where they learn more from your father and your mother, what things you learn,
exactly. Yeah.
what you do next time. Okay, now don't do this next time. Now and um so a lot of that has happened a lot. And I got, my oldest father, who he helped me up the most this year. When I needed help, my dad,
Yeah.
sorry, my son, not my dad, my son, he
Oh,
helped me a
okay.
lot, man. Uh he's Todd too,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
oldest son. When I was the most at the nursing home, my son would come to my house. He'd come in and visit with me,
Yeah, yeah, of
and
course. That's
and even
awesome.
sometimes I'm like mad and I'm yelling at him and stuff, because what I thought this, and he had to push through it and uh, put up through me. And so he was just here just this weekend when we had the concert and stuff. He came in and hung out with my dad.
That's awesome.
No, yeah, my son, his dad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, good
but
for
I've
you.
seen all of my kids in one house here. Just about 3 weeks ago, they all came over. This was to me within a year the first time I ever saw all my kids together. So it was really cool to see
Yeah, that
them.
is
And
cool.
some that I knew that I was mad against many of them, and they all came back. And we made amends.
That's good. That's glad. That's healing. That's what you needed, man.
Absolutely,
It's awesome.
absolutely.
So happy for you.
Mhm.
I really am, Todd.
They're
And
all they're all talented, man. I got crazy talented kids. Some
you're
do music.
almost like a
Some do
Jackson,
music.
almost like a Jackson family, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Indeed, my daughter's
You
dancing,
should do a
and
project
singing.
called the Stevens.
Man, I've been trying to get them to do this for a long time. Like, let's go. But sometimes, man,
Uh,
they're stubborn. So
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, so are we.
But one day, of course,
So
when they
are
still get
we.
all
So are we, man. We're stubborn.
right. You know what I mean?
Stubborn to a fault. Well, brother, man,
Absolutely.
I love you, man. I thank you for your time. We're down to it, man, and I just I love you, man, and you always got my support, and I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to hearing your news. So I better be one of the few to get to listen to a track.
Yeah.
Now I won't post it if you send it to me early.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to give it a listen. I'll give you some.
Okay, man. Yeah,
All
you
right.
get your emails, and I'll send you. You can listen to it. You talk whatever you want to talk about. So
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, much love to you.
I appreciate
And
you, man.
you know it.
Love that I'm on.
Always here for you. And when you do get that done and you want to do a promo on it, let me know when you guys get that redemption done. All right?
Absolutely, sir.
Yes,
Right
sir.
on, my man.
All right. Much love and respect here on the Roosta Show. You take care, bud.